Start spreading the news. We're listening to Real Talk tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Glen and I'm your host. That was terrible singing. And over here, I have a few new guests. Riley Bartolomeo.
Hello.
I think I butchered your last name there. Sorry
Oh,
about
that's
that.
okay. Ray Bartolomeo from WCBG's The Rundown, Fridays at 10 a.m. here on WCBG.
And I got Cameron Havner.
Good to be here, mate. Thanks for having me on this episode of Real Talk.
Okay. I did not know you're British.
I think that was Australian.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that was South Wales, actually.
Oh, okay.
Judy
Perfect.
Dench is here. Wonderful.
What a perfect night to be talking about South Wales when we talk about New York films. There's no connection there, but that's also really cool. All right. Before we get into that, though, there's a movie out there, folks, that you don't need to see, but we're going to talk about it anyways. It's basically Ryan Gosling. What do you guys think about Ryan Gosling?
I don't like his work.
Really? Why?
Gangster Squad. That's why.
The one movie. All right.
I like my
Come
mob
on.
films.
Sean Penn, dude.
I got speaking of the mic.
Yeah, right. I mean, Ryan Gosling, he's interesting because his work is you can consider so many different of his films as an exploration into so many different acting techniques. It's very diverse.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it just depends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think he's really good in roles where he acts like a not like a creepy guy. Like Crazy Stupid Love is the only one thing I really liked him in. Anyways, so I guess we're not really Ryan Gosling fanboys, but for some
What is
reason,
this, Twilight?
Yeah.
Where there's fanboys?
For some reason, Riley and I we went to see Lost River, which is Ryan Gosling's directorial debut, and he described it as a dark Goonies. Riley and I have something else to.
It was the furthest thing from the Goonies you could get.
It was not a good. I don't know. It's so weird. Okay, here we got to back up a bit. So basically, this movie took him, and I did some digging after I saw the movie. So basically, this movie took him 3 years to make, and the process of what happened was he filmed just like wreckage of like this Detroit town like closing down and everything, and then he wrote the story.
See, now, why couldn't he have just done that as a documentary about poor Michiganians or Detroitans
Yeah.
who are going through this horrible economic collapse? Instead, he made this horrible fiction film.
Yeah.
I should probably disclose that I actually haven't seen the film, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we're trying to warn you, Cameron, not to. I don't know. Like, I want you to see it
No,
though.
I'm going to see it. This is
Okay.
really intriguing, actually.
I slept during the first 40 minutes of the film.
It was really
my
slow.
friends.
The only reason I got through it was because it's shot really beautifully. Actually, Cameron, I think you know the cinematographer. I forget his name, but he was the guy who did Enter the Void.
Oh yes, yeah. Not Gasper, no, but he also shot Spring Breakers as well.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I don't know the name, but I am familiar.
It's
with
like
it as
Benoit or something, or Benuit or something. I don't know.
He's very very talented cinematographer.
And the movie's beautiful to look at.
Yeah, the art direction really, I mean, should get some recognition. If that's the only recognition this film gets, it's just beautiful,
Mhm.
but horribly written.
And also, we gotta talk about the positives first. And also, I thought this. I mean, I left the film saying like I really liked the soundtrack, but now like days later, I can't remember what it was. I do like the soundtrack. The composer's name. His name is Johnny Jewel. Which have you heard of him, Cameron? He did Bronson and Drive. He was the composer for that.
Oh, he was the composer for Bronson.
Yeah, yeah.
He was the composer for Drive. I thought not Clint Mansell. Clint Martinez was the composer for Drive.
Maybe okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I got this all from IMDb. You know how we are here, people. We're not that professional.
No, I am familiar with those two soundtracks though, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Anyways, but like there were some geniuses behind this movie.
You're giving him too much credit.
No. I mean, not that Genius is like supporting Ryan Gosling. They're Gosling.
So therapists.
They were like, okay, so Edgar Wright interviewed him, and they were talking, about all movie making. And during that interview with Ryan Gosling, he said that he spoke to Nicholas Winding Refn, and Ryan Gosling complained, saying, I only have 5 million for my movie. I don't think that's enough. And he was like, you can make Star Wars with 5 million, which isn't wrong. I mean, you could, but like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not,
5 million is not that much money. That is barely a budget.
Yeah, but I mean, if you there's been really good movies made, for less than that too. So
Definitely.
yeah, so I don't think budget should be a real problem. If you're really worried about that, then I don't know. That's a red flag right there.
It's just if you look at his directorial debut versus other directorial debuts by
Mhm.
actors, for instance, Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves,
Mhm.
which has zero dancing with actual wolves, or Barbara Streisand's Yentl, or the list could go on with Charlie Chaplin, all of them.
Mhm.
Their first film behind the camera was 100% better than this.
Yeah.
How should I put this? Adolescent
Immature.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Also, though, you know what's this really intrigues me. After looking at the script, guess what director said, if you don't make this film, Ryan, I will.
David Lynch.
No, close. Actually,
I would have liked it.
yeah. Guillermo del Toro, which I'm a big fan of. He wanted to do this movie.
Oh, yeah. I actually heard there's other news, but that him and Ryan Gosling are producing the new Haunted House Disney movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I hear that like not Ryan Gosling, Del Toro does one thing and never does it again for another 5 years.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
And then he's also working with Disney. I'm hearing also on Pinocchio.
Ryan Gosling or Del Toro?
Gilmo.
Del Toro.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Basically, we can go on and on about Lost Forever, but I think Justin Chung, the reviewer for Variety, I think he said it best when he wrote, had Terrence Malick and David Lynch somehow conceived an artistic love child together, only to see it get kidnapped, strangled, and repeatedly kicked in the face by Nicholas Winding Refn, the results might look like and sound something like The Lost River.
See, that sounds wonderfully negative, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Variety. You're like
Yeah.
my New York Times.
Yeah.
That really intrigues me to see. The film.
I really want
to see the film right now.
Cameron. I want you to see it. Yeah. So there's just it's grotesque and not in a cool way, in a way to shock you, and that's never fun. I'm okay with grotesque if there's a meaning behind it, but there really wasn't.
Also, too, I have to give credit here to the Angelica Film Center because even though I love your movie complex,
Mm-hmm.
you have wonderful seats that I slept on. You
Yeah.
can during the first 40 minutes of this, so thank you, Angelica. And if you're ever in New York City, our fellow listeners, go to the Angelica Film Center and support local independent films.
Yeah, that they're really great. Basically, I don't know, like the movie. We should probably go on.
Yeah.
Basically it says it's trying to say something important, but Ryan Gosling I think is stuttering throughout the whole thing. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. But hey, okay, so right now we're going to what time is it? Oh, okay. Actually, we can get into it a little bit. Right now, so seeing that there's really no big movie news we really want to talk about. We really like talking about movies, not really the news.
But that's my show. You can listen to the news, and we have big news this week because of 2016.
Apparently, apparently Riley just hijacked our show. But all right, I will not be playing your promo tonight.
I kind of want to listen to Riley's show. Riley, if we could talk about your show, that'd be
Well,
you'll find out in the promo what it's about.
All right. Okay. Well, basically we're going to be talking about, since we're in New York, we think we kind of have to do a service for this great city and talk about all the great movies that take place in New York. And I don't think we have too much time to get into detail because we have to take a short break. But basically, right before, I guess we can't really talk about New York movies without mentioning Woody Allen.
Yes, or Spike Lee, Marty Scorsese.
Yeah, but like Woody Allen, he's most like well he's the most well known, not well known, but like you can have Scorsese without New York. You can, but Woody Allen like he has to be in New York.
See, I think there's on film three different New Yorks, and Woody Allen encompasses only one of them. And I can certainly get into more of this after the break about the three different New Yorks on film, because I think that's a very important point to go into while mentioning Woody Allen.
That's okay. I'm curious to hear this. Yeah. Okay. You know, let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back.
Also, too, you have to play a song too.
No, I have to do that. I do that.
Okay, because we have a different. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, actually, we're it's 15. Sorry, it's only 14 seconds.
Oh.
You want to
Oh, is that? Oh, that's Adams, the old conch
Oh, I didn't know that. And we're back.
Hi.
We're back.
Okay, yeah. Are we back? Yeah, we are back. We're back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm walking here. Yeah.
Now we're back. Okay. Um. So okay, you mentioned before about three New Yorks you see on film.
Yes.
What are they, and how'd you find them?
Okay, so the first New York is the romanticized New York, which I think is 100% embodied in Woody Allen. And then you have the grittier New York, which is Martin Scorsese and really captures the whole 1980s and 90s in New York City. And then you have the boroughs of New York, which is boroughs and also minorities in New York, which is captured in Spike Lee's films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I buy it. Uh, Basically, I think we just kind of jump into Woody Allen's movies,
Yeah,
the romantic movies.
yes.
Actually, Cameron, what's your favorite Woody Allen New York movie?
I mean, it sounds like very like obvious, but I mean, we all have to go with like Annie Hall because Annie Hall is the first one we all go to, and there's a reason why we all go to.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, coming up in 5 days is the anniversary of Annie Hall's release in 1977. So you can do the math on how old that film is.
I will be making lobster then.
Yeah. It's really I saw it last semester when I first got to New York, and I just remember being like just like this small. I thought it was so comical having this small little man, just having all these big problems in this huge city. You know, I think he really plays up this awesome backdrop Alan's been growing up in.
Also, I think it shows really greatly, and I think also the non-Woody Allen film When Harry Met Sally does this also, but how love comes from the city, not only in the sense of what the city gives to us in the form of love by all the wonderful things this wonderful New York has, but in the sense of, well, you're in love for some point, you're at your height in love, and then it kind of just falls down gradually, and then it goes back up in that cycle.
Yeah, totally.
I love how he explores those concepts too through really unconventional means. I mean, the scene where he's just talking to Diane Keaton, and we see the subtext as what they actually mean when they're talking to each other. It's really experimental. Oh, yeah. So I have a lot of appreciation for that.
Thank you for bringing up Diane Keaton because like Woody Allen's great and everything. Diane Keaton though kind of plays his I don't want to say straight woman, but like she has to like deal with like this awesome performer, a neurotic performer, and like but she really holds her own against him and she works with him and they're such a great combination. When you hear about like Abbott Costello or another Batman and Robin, I don't know, they're a great.
Not George Clooney though, right?
Yeah, no. They're a great they're just a great pairing. And
they are, but also too, I mean, Diane Keaton, bless her soul, she's I think one of the very few women who can actually stand Woody Allen. Unlike his other co-star who he went to after Diane Keaton when she went on to do Godfather and these other wonderful films, Red by Warren Beatty, Mia Farrow, who obviously we know what happened there between those two, but how she's able to stand this genius of a man.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about his personal life. That's kind of
Mhm.
not there, but echoed in the film Manhattan.
Which we'll talk about next, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about
It's just wonderful. Even the racket when they're getting out of the Wall Street racquetball
Mhm.
gym, which if you take the Staten Island ferry, you can see directly when you walk out.
Yeah.
That is where it was filmed. But that whole wonderful scene where he's like, well, people in when they look upon New York see us as liberal socialists.
Mhm.
He had one word I cannot say on air in that are uh, small Jewish people. It's quite wonderful and quite
Mhm.
true. And yeah, it's just a love letter.
Do you have anything to say?
I just have a question. Where was that scene where we see the house under the roller coaster? Where was that filmed? Where?
That was Coney. It was supposed to be
Coney Island.
Yeah.
It was Coney Island.
Yeah. That was also a really funny scene too.
With the uncle.
Yeah. We gotta but like now you bring up Manhattan, and I actually, ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented. I have just seen a movie right before filming, so I'm right off the heels of this movie. Um, and just coming out of it, this is my first thoughts. I've only partially digested the film. I don't think it is good as Annie Hall, and I don't really like it as much as Annie Hall. Like, yeah.
See, I think it's wonderful in the sense that you have first a great opening where it's just all five boroughs put to Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, right? And then you have a wonderful bookstore scene, and it's all in black and white. And then you have really something which I think Woody Allen may have been going through at that time of having affairs with younger women, which he would later replicate with Miss Farrow in their relationship. But no, it's wonderful. It's really, I think, a relic which should be put in a museum and say this is what this time was like.
See, I think you're right. It is shot beautifully. There's a scene where, like in the apartment, where you just see you just see Tracy, his young girlfriend, in light, and you see the light of him on the staircase, and then but they're like they're just separated by this like void of darkness to show like how far they are. I could be reading into it. I don't know. I'm an English major.
And the planetarium scene is wonderful.
That's another one. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I first saw this movie, I was like, I have no problem with black and white, but I was like, do they really need to make it black and white? Because of like the black and whiteness of New York and stuff. And they made some really beautiful scenes. I think it could have been in color, but that's not my problem
But
with it.
Woody Allen had a huge affection for Ingmar Bergman and Fellini, who all did a majority of their stuff in black and white.
And he made a comment about it, Bergman too. He's like, I love Bergman. He wrote that into the script. That was hilarious. But the one thing that bugged me that I couldn't enjoy the movie was his relationship with the young girl Tracy.
Foreshadowing.
I just thought it was really gross too.
It is, but that I think if you look at it from an autobiographical standpoint about Woody Allen's life, that is exactly it.
Yeah, it's a personal film. What can you say?
Yeah, really stick with that accent. All right. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this, but for me, it's just something that I just couldn't get over. Like, I loved every scene that she was not in. Also, like her being 17. Okay, I wish she was Hollywood 17, meaning they get a 23-year-old to play a 17-year-old. But she looks like she's 12, which really freaks me out.
And she got an Oscar nomination for it too.
Oh, really? Oh, she better after being with Woody Allen. Oh God. But like, I don't want that to like cast it. I don't hate the movie for it. I think it's a great movie. I think everyone living in New York should see it. It has some really beautiful shots. I'm always amazed what they can do in black and white. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a really weird message. I didn't know that they were going to end up together at the end. Or it's hinted that they're going to end up together at the end. I don't know.
It's his autobiography. Don't expect a book from him. Expect that movie.
What?
It's beautiful. It's romantic.
Do you Cameron, like, so do you like it a lot too, or?
Oh yeah. It's so rewatchable of a film.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to see because he's telling the story on a grand scale. It's a personal story on a grand scale. There's a lot to admire.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. That's all I can say. I'm glad I saw the movie. I think I got a lot out of it. It's really cool. Also, since living here, it's cool. Like we're like, you see signs. You're like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I used to.
It's a local film.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because there's so many great Woody Allen films, but there's also so many bad ones too.
Yeah.
You could talk about so many just horrible Woody Allen films. It's
Now you got to be careful here because Riley is a big Woody Allen fan.
Oh, all right,
Yeah,
Riley,
yeah.
you want to defend your position?
I'll defend it this much. Scoop is a horrible film with Hugh Jackman, and his musical one with Drew Barrymore. I'll give you those. But other than maybe you'll meet a tall dark stranger. But other than that, I would say they're all majority good. Oh, my Downton Abbey accent.
Did you see Magic in the Moonlight? I don't know.
Is that
Emma Stone? Emma Stone. I will say though, she is cute. I will give her that.
The one takeaway from the film.
Yeah.
Not anything that happens. It's
Just Emma Stone.
Moving back to New York, there's a movie that I've also seen recently, and I don't know, I don't think you've seen it yet, but I know you're gonna like it. I'm hoping Cameron saw it so I can talk about it. If not, that's okay. After Hours with Martin Scorsese.
Wonderful.
You've seen it? Or...
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh.
It's actually kind of embarrassing. I've actually seen the documentary on After Hours, but not the actual movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with your mic? Are you good?
Yeah, it's just we'll talk about it at commercial.
I can hear you on the
wonderfully,
mic,
wonderfully.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm sorry. You said you saw the.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on it, and I haven't seen the actual.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's Oh my God! It is a beautiful movie. Okay. And I mean, like, it's a movie that, like, I've always thought about, like. What's really interesting to me is conversations like we're doing right now.
Yes, exactly.
And the whole story is pretty much just a series of conversations about a man who doesn't want to converse. He just wants to go home. And that leads to really great comedy, but also really dark comedy. And it all takes place in Soho. And yeah.
Which, it's funny, Glen and I have a personal story today. Well, we were in the elevator before coming here. One of Wagner's wonderful janitors.
Custodians, yes.
Custodians, was talking to us about Martin Scorsese and also the film Warriors and how much he loved New York during the 80s while it was crime driven, but you can't blame him. I'd much rather Times Square then than now.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney versus more New York, New York. I take New York, New York.
The way Scorsese uses the camera too, not he does a great job of capturing grit, but like all filmmakers at New York in that time did a great job of that. But the way he uses the camera, like, I can always sense that he's behind there, and that usually, like, for any other filmmaker that gets distracting for me. But for him, the way the way the camera moves, it's so, like, fluid and organic. There's a shot where he like zooms in on this one beautiful blonde lady, and she winks, and the scene before, she was really beautiful. Right, but when they did that zoom in and, like, there's like the light hit her eye, this, making an actual twinkle on screen. The woman became just absolutely stunning, and it was all because of the camera work. It was amazing.
Yeah, and his camera work is, I mean, remarkable. If you look at Goodfellas, just when they're in the restaurant and their name and Robert De Niro's character, no, is it Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta's character, who's naming every single person in the bar, and it's just, I mean, you feel Scorsese's there. Taxi driver, he is the other driver of that taxi. I mean, it's his whole entire life's work is wonderful, which is why everyone should go to the Tribeca Film Festival, which he.
We'll plug that in a bit. Yeah, don't worry.
I feel like we could spend the entire duration of the show talking about Scorsese's cinematography because it is so expensive, and there's just so many examples of some excellent work. I mean, like, everyone goes to the Goodfellas restaurant scene, which is great. But there's Michel Gondry actually remade a scene of Taxi Driver, the ending scene. It's really interesting with Legos. It's really interesting. You should look it up. It's Michel Gondry, last scene in Taxi.
You know what? If you give me the link to it, we'll put it on our Facebook page, Real Talk with Nick and Glenn. Oh, by the way, Nick's dead. He's not here. I forgot him.
Too bad. See, we're his permanent villain.
Nick will be back next week.
Oh, really?
We could talk about Scorsese. Unfortunately, we have a break, but we'll talk about more movies afterwards. We'll have to. After you have a break, we have to decide what we're going to talk about next. We have a lot of movies to cover. All right. For Real Talk, I'm Glenn.
Oh, I'm Riley.
This is Cameron.
We're not ending. I don't know why it sounds like an ending, but here is some more cool tunes.
I've never heard of Kick at the Clock. Who's it by?
The Chromatics. So,
Yeah.
all right, we got time.
Oh, nice.
We're also still. We're still live.
Because there's
Hello.
a minute delay over there.
No, also on on camera. So we have to both
How long is this break?
record them. 5 minutes. So
It's a long break.
yeah.
And then you have the commercial that plays after it, so it's like
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah, we'll be fine. So what should we talk about next?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. Okay.
Do the right thing.
Well, you know what,
For a minute.
We maybe do a little wrap up on Scorsese.
Yeah.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
There's so much of Scorsese we could talk about.
I had to. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to move on. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about Scorsese.
Then we could move on to either Midnight Cowboy, French Connection.
Okay.
Or
Speaking of French Connection, there's a sequel out.
French Connection too.
The sequel. Gene Hackman returns.
The most likely dead American.
It's a French sequel. Anyway.
There's a French Connection too. Actually, you know what? That's good content to talk now onto our wonderful YouTube subscribers.
And then
So French Connection too.
It actually is it's a sequel in a way that it takes the concept of the French Connection and it follows up the characters afterwards and the heroine plot line. But it's in French and it has what's his name, the actor who was in The Artist.
Jean Valjean?
Jean,
No.
yeah.
That's Les Mis.
No, Jean Valjean.
The guy won the Oscar for not
Best
talking.
Actor.
Yeah, for not talking.
Seriously. All right, well, that's an argument for another day.
That's cool.
It's called The Connection. So it's called The Connection, and it's a somewhat sequel to French Connection.
We could also do the Fisher King.
Can we talk about Fisher King?
Yeah.
Fisher King really hit me at the right time. I'm so glad I saw that.
Honorable mentions we could do towards the end, or The Way We Were, the producers.
The Way We Were. What was The Way We Were?
That was all Midtown Manhattan.
No, but
Barbara Streisand, Robert Redford, the song The Way We Were. It's a wonderful movie.
Okay, yeah.
The Three Annies. We also have Carlito's Way. Next up, Greenwich Village is one of my favorite. Christopher Walken, Paul Krugman. It's Once Upon a Time in America.
That's what we talk about. Once Upon a Time in America.
And Dumbo. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk. Okay. Okay. I'm glad I have two guys here to talk about stuff. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in America.
We could also do.
Yeah. Or Wolf of Wall Street. We can talk
Wolf of
about
Wall
that.
Street and Wall
Scorsese.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Shaft. Fully black.
We'll have Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about that. I want to get into Fisher King because I'm a big Terry Gilliam. I love. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. You can see how the show's run, folks.
Hi.
It's all running off the seat of our pants. Yeah. You're
See my hand.
You're there. You're there.
Juicy things coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We got another minute to kill.
But yeah,
we
we should definitely wrap up on the Scorsese.
That's
Because
yeah.
He's like the filmmaker of New York. When we think of New York, we think of
Yeah. We gave Woody Allen his time. Now we can talk.
and just get the commercial ready too after that, because you need music and then a commercial. Do my yeah, it was what was going on was this was it was like screeching a
Oh,
bit.
really? Okay, that didn't. It didn't. I didn't hear anything.
But
If there's
you
some pri-
could, but you could hear me.
I could hear you perfectly.
Okay, because
Yeah.
on here it was I couldn't hear myself.
Yeah, don't worry. If you. Okay, yeah. You don't even have to wear them if they're not. If I'll let you know if I hear something. But
Okay.
no, yeah, I think it's sounding great. And ladies, he's single. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit of Riley's new show. I encourage you to check it out. Okay, yeah. So we left out Scorsese. Let's talk more about Scorsese.
Yeah, I mean, Scorsese, he's really documented so many different parts of New York. I mean, we really familiarize Scorsese with the real gritty, brooding New York that we're used to. But I mean, you go from like After Hours to Gangs of New York, all the way to Mean Streets. There's just so much of New York he captures.
And also too the his small novella film he did with Woody Allen and Francis Ford Coppola, New York Stories. I mean, it's a wonderful look inside the artists and bohemians here. I mean, it's remarkable.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you want to say something?
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. You're more of the aficionado on, or the, yeah, you know more about Scorsese than I do. So, please.
Yeah, I mean, Scorsese, he's New York. It's such a large scale. He's working with. So he's creating these very personal stories in all these different contexts, and it just shows so much of what New York is. We see it in so many different ways. It's just it's always interesting and exciting to see, especially in his films as New York has changed over the years. You see that in Scorsese's films. You know, I think it's really interesting.
Hmm. And it's also amazing, like just Wolf of Wall Street too. One of my recent favorites. Like he's good at showing New York. Like you said, all throughout the times. From like what would be like 60s, 80s, whenever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
He's lived through it. He knows the New York that was New York in the 1970s, and he has so much experience. I was watching our bonus feature of Gangs of New York. Which was actually shot in Rome. It wasn't shot in New York. But
Wait, what?
What?
No,
What?
no, we have to get disqualified from the show.
No, I was surprised. There's this large set, and they're like, "Oh, we're in Rome." Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But it was interesting because he was pointing out. He was going around the Rome set. He was pointing out stuff, and he was talking about like little shacks, that used to be in New York, where like little Jewish families would congregate. And it's very personal for him because he's experienced it. And if you look at his documentaries as well, you see more of that firsthand. But he's such a he's so ingrained into what New York is, just like Woody Allen. It's a part of him, and you see that in his films.
I'm still waiting for his Bill Clinton documentary. Hopefully after 2016 it will come out.
Is that in the works? Like
It's been shelved after the Clinton camp and Mr. Scorsese, who were very close friends, Bill and Hill and Marty. But after they a disagreement over how much they could film and what questions to ask.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Anything more on Scorsese? You know what? I'm just kind of getting into his movies while since living here.
All I could say is, are you talking to me?
Yes, it's a radio show. Why would
No,
I
no,
not be
that's
talking to you?
Robert De Niro. That's De Niro in Taxi Driver when he's in the mirror.
um. Yeah. Okay. That's perfect. So let's move on. We're talking about some really heavy movies, right? Can we move
Yes.
on? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about some really heavy movies. Let's talk about a little lighter one. Um, Fisher King. Now that
Lighter? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not too light.
as soon as
I
I
mean,
said it,
there's
I was
more
like, never
light
mind.
shown during the film.
You're never mind. Yeah, just as soon as I said it. Oh man. Okay, so I really want to talk about this movie because I'm a big Robin Williams fan, and it was one of the first movies I jumped to after his unfortunate death. And what a terrific movie that is. And it shows it's like a gritty movie, but it shows the standard gritty New York, but also it has that Terry Gilliam flavor to it, or it makes it really accessible. You
See,
know.
I think it shows more, not so much the gritty, but more of the kind of, if you want to say, put a Dickens spin on it, the tale of two cities that is here in New York between the very ultra wealthy, who in that case was also a radio host, and
Yeah.
and the very poor, who are, as we see, walking up and down Fifth Ave asking for money, and kind of what happens when those two cities kind of collide, if you want to say.
Mhm.
I think I Fisher King is such an original film. I mean, of course, it's Terry Gilliam. I mean, can't talk about Fisher King without talking about that incredible Grand Central scene where everyone just starts dancing in the middle of Grand
I
Central,
totally forgot about that.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
probably
Oh, wow.
one of the most iconic scenes I've ever seen.
Mhm.
But there's another scene where a cross-dresser goes up to one of the rich men at his office and starts singing. It's very I had no idea how someone could write a scene like that. It's so out of place, but there's a lot to admire in all of its unconventional writing.
Do you want to hear a really fun, or not fun, like a really amazing Robin Williams story on the set of that movie?
Okay.
Okay, so they're shooting the Red Knight scene, the big, where he's kind of having his emotional collapse, and Robin Williams wanted to do that scene again and again, and each time he went even crazier and bigger and like just like more like emotionally like scarred, and finally Terry Gilliam had to pull him aside and say, you did a great job. You need to stop. He's like, no, it's not good enough. And he's going crazy, and his muscles are all tight. And Terry Gilliam said he looked like a scared animal. Um, just the dedication to the performance, and it's such a like that role of the homeless man. That could have been just. It was written amazingly. It was performed stunningly. It was great.
And also, too, the great scene, I think, with Robin Williams in that was when he was kind of going up and down Midtown, and all to view this one woman who he so adored from looking at every single day, and how he would just follow her. It was like, God, how romantic but creepy at the same time, and it just got me.
Mm-hmm.
Played by the always wonderful Amanda Plummer.
I was gonna say, where does I remember she pops up in like great movies, like she was there
Oh, yeah.
in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
But where else is she in? Amanda Plummer. What's she doing today?
I mean, more recently, I mean, she had like a tiny brief role in Catching Fire, Hunger Games. That's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of her more recent roles. She does a lot of independent films.
Oh, okay.
I mean, lot of independent films. Um, but I love how Amanda Plummer in the movie Fisher King, she's always picking out these really cheesy like $2 books outside little stores, like little romantic novels that it's kind of like the Nicholas Spark books, there's like so many of them. They're all like really silly romantic novels called cheese.
Yeah, and also like her character, like she's as crazy as she's not crazy as Robin, but she is crazy like Robin Williams, and they do, and like you can actually kind of buy it that this homeless man could go on a date with this um, little nutty lady.
We should call Tim Gunn up on the Upper West Side in Manhattan and tell him, come and fix up some of the homeless people here. It would be quite nice.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about Fish King anymore? I think I'm pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Definitely revisit it. It's a
Yeah.
classic.
And
Yeah.
Central Park's wonderful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we got to talk about. You mentioned three directors that we have to talk.
Yes.
Woody Allen.
Yep, the romantic New York.
Scorsese.
Yep, the gritty New York.
And now I think we should talk a little bit about Spike Lee.
Yes, fight the power of the boroughs.
Let's die.
Brooklyn.
So the film I think I'm most familiar with is his Do the Right Thing.
Yes, with Rosie Perez.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, can't forget about Rosie Perez in that movie. Have you seen this movie, Cameron?
Oh, I have seen this movie plentiful times. This movie. Well, first off, I first time I watched it, I turned it off because I thought it was a joke. The movie, the first 10 minutes, is just people dancing.
The opening scene, yeah.
To fight the power.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I watching? Why is this? I don't understand. But actually, he was doing that in reaction to kind of the standards of what people told him of how to make a film, because everyone always told him that the beginning of a film is the most important because it's the hook that draws people in to maintain their interest. And he has this 10-minute scene where people are just dancing. It's like, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting when I found that out. But at first I was really confused.
Mm-hmm.
And you're almost like, is this a musical in the first 10
Yeah.
minutes? Where's Fred Astaire?
You have also like really good characters that are very memorable characters, and how they're all different from each other, but they're not stereotypes either.
They're not. I mean, even too, you could put those characters from 1989 when the film was first released in today's society, and they would all fit in wonderfully, and it would capture today's period of which we live in greatly.
That's a very interesting point you mentioned, Riley, because a lot of modern filmmakers had made note of that in October during amidst the Ferguson events. The Film Society of Lincoln Center actually hosted a public read-through of the script of Do the Right Thing, where I believe John Turturro was there along with the other cast members.
Oh,
they
cool.
read through the script in reaction to all the craziness with Ferguson and Eric Gardner, of course. And it kind of points, not to be political, points to how the film is relevant 15 or
25.
Yeah, 25 years from now today, and how when it was filmed, it's still very relevant to how we are.
I'm afraid that is too political, Cameron.
See, that's on my show. Here at Fridays at 10 a.m. on WCBG.
This is my show, Riley. You counted me.
I know, they're almost combining.
Yeah.
We need to do this more often.
Yeah. No, very great point. We'll talk more about it after the break.
So we need to really quickly go through
If we go over
Coming to America, or not Coming to Once Upon a Time in America.
If we go like 2 or 3 minutes over, it's fine. I'm okay. We got all the time more. No, we got till 10.
We have till 10.
A little bit after 10.
No time, dude.
Yeah. We have next up Greenwich Village. We have to Godfather 1 and 2. I mean, we have we have to like quickly run through honorable mentions.
Okay. Yeah.
And Tribeca we have to mention, and the Wagner film.
Yeah.
Festival thing.
Yeah. Oh.
And
oh.
Harry. We have to mention Harry.
Oh yeah.
He's listening. Yeah.
We'll slam through it.
Yeah.
We'll call
Nice
this
show today, right?
We'll call this the 4 train. How
Okay.
fast it goes. This will be like our 4 train section.
Okay, I'm gonna use that. Actually, that sounds fast. Okay, everyone. Now we are on the four train because we are going to be zooming in, uh, along with all our movie news. No,
Yes.
reviews.
Review.
Whatever. Let's
Our
so
special.
our special, our New York special. We got some movies to talk about. Riley, take it away. What do you want
Okay,
to talk about first?
let's start right now on our first stop on the 4 train at Bowling Green by talking about Coming to America, which takes place in Dumbo, Brooklyn.
I think you mean
Oh yes, Once Upon a Time in America. Coming to America takes place in Queens. Yes.
Very. Actually, no, they're very different films. I don't know how you.
America. Yeah.
America the film. No. Once Upon a Time in America. Riley will provide some interesting notes, but Once Upon a Time in America is actually directed by the Italian filmmaker Sergio Leone, which is interesting because he's made some of the most iconic westerns, of course, the spaghetti westerns ever, and then we have Once Upon a Time in America.
Which is also his very last film. It's wonderfully put together. Robert De Niro, James Woods, every single wonderful Italian actress. Moi. I know my Italian's not showing. Just give me some pasta and some cannolis. But yes, wonderful film. Watch it. It's like 3.5 hours long.
No, the director's cut is about 4.5
Oh,
hours.
that's the one I own. Okay.
I will not be watching this movie. I can't watch a movie after 90
It's
minutes.
better than Gone with the Wind. I'll give you that.
Yeah, okay, that's true. True enough. Another one.
Another one. Let's see. We also have Midnight Cowboy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a wonderful John Boyd film, all about can I use that word? A man who goes through multiple things here in New
He's
York
a hustler.
City. Yes. Okay.
He is a hustler.
Yes, but wonderful film. Then we have the 3 Annie remakes, neither of which are really good.
Why are you? Wait, yeah. Why are we?
I don't know. We're quickly going through Godfather 1 and 2. I'm not mentioning 3.
We can, yeah. We can talk about. We have 10 minutes left. We don't have to rush. You know. Yeah. I don't know. Have we talked about like a comedy yet? I know we talked about some.
Oh, I have one. Anger management.
Okay, that's not the one I was thinking of, but okay, yeah, sure. Anger management.
That's what's his name? Adam Sandler. It's a neat little New York film. Horrible.
Should have said Ghostbusters.
Oh yes, that's
Thank
the
you,
better
Cameron.
one.
Let's talk. Can we talk about Ghostbusters?
Who are you gonna call?
Okay. Yeah.
And me.
Let's just slow it down a bit. Okay. All right. Easy, hot stuff. All right. We're gonna. All right. Yeah. So let's just talk about Ghostbusters a bit. Okay. Great film. So we have basically you have 4 guys hunting ghosts. What a weird, simple premise. And what a great performance. It was actually this is one of the first movies I've seen in the theater at New York when I first came here.
Was it a surreal moment?
It was I was like, I live here, and I was actually even more invested at the end plot. I was like, oh no, there's gonna be cats and dogs living together in my neighborhood.
We have to go down to Bleecker Street one day into the Friar house where they taped it. And
I think like 90% of the reason I'm here in New York is because of Ghostbusters.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it really changed my life as a child actually. Yeah, they're not like big heroes. They're underdogs. They're like janitors in a way. But they're same in New York. I love it.
And it's really everyone, and there's now like 30 years later, there's rumors about or no, it's official, they're gonna be remaking the movie. I think what made that movie work, and I don't think they'll be able to make it as good.
Was Columbia?
Okay, yeah. No, I think it was just really the connection with these 4 guys. I think the all female one, I'm really looking forward to it because I think they have it right by saying it's all these women vaguely know each other, or they worked with each other before, on Saturday Night Live. So, I think it really all comes down. If you want to make a good Ghostbusters movie, it has to be a movie starring people that are friends off screen and on screen.
And it's I think, and I know I'm going to go on record with this, the only good Saturday Night Live movie, even though it wasn't based off of a Saturday Night Live sketch, because a majority of those actors in it, with exception of Sigourney Weaver,
Mhm.
were on Saturday Night Live
Ernie Hudson, was he on Saturday Night Live, or
briefly.
I did not know that. Wow. Okay.
The more you know.
I don't know. I thought MacGruber was a great film. I love MacGruber.
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 Okay. Can we talk about? There's another comedy I want to mention real quick too that Riley made me watch actually.
Which one was it?
Moonstruck.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Riley.
MacGruber.
Moonstruck. Yeah. Riley does this thing where he pesters you to watch a movie, and you think like, wow, God, fine, I'll watch it just to shut him up, and then
I'm a good lobbyist.
and then it's the best thing ever, and you have to give credit where
And my
credit's due.
Italian in it was bleeding red. I mean, it's a wonderful film. It takes place at the Metropolitan Opera. I mean, you can't get better.
It's one scene.
I know, but my opera board radio was like extra. I mean, La Boheme. It's a wonderful film. Cher can act.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
One of the few singers who go on to screen who actually can act.
I really like Nicolas Cage's character. This is on the verge of. Actually, he was always crazy, but
that's his only good film.
Yeah. I just I love. He's like, he's taking my wife, he's taking my hands. Now take his wife, and take his hands.
As the I think only Italian at this table, the hands are the most important thing ever.
Yeah, they do a lot of close-up shots of the hands. Cameron, I'm sorry, have you seen this movie Moonstruck or?
MacGruber.
Okay.
Actually, I haven't seen the film.
It's on Netflix.
We both give a really good recommendation to it. It's
Nick Cage is in it. I have to see it.
He's a really funny. I don't even think Nick Cage is even Italian, but
he's not. No, wait, he is. He's because he is the cousin of Francis Ford Coppola, another wonderful Italian who's the Godfather 1 and 2 and sadly 3.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I kind of covered everything we need to talk about.
Also, briefly, in our
we got time.
I'll just give a 1-minute list of other New York films you should watch. Yankee Doodle Dandy, 42nd Street, Miracle on 34th Street, On the Town, Shirley MacLaine in The Apartment with Mr. Lemon, Next Stop Greenwich Village, Oliver Stone's Wall Street, The French Connection, When Harry Met Sally, Carlito's Way with my wonderful Al Pacino, Shaft, Coming to America, which we mentioned earlier with Eddie Murphy, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Big, we mentioned Gangs in New York, Tootsie, and if you really want a film to put you to sleep, Home Alone 2.
You do not like Home Alone 2.
I do not.
So how's it like growing up without a childhood? Was that
I
fun
watched
for you?
Betty Davis and Katharine Hepburn. That was my childhood.
He's in New York, though. He's not like Home Alone. He's in New York. I don't understand.
That is. Oh, wow, I never thought about that.
They
It's
should
not
call
Home
it
Alone.
Lost in New York.
Yeah. Oh, that was the subtitle. Yeah, but
it should have been the title.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wow.
Speaking of Home Alone, the house is actually on for sale if you want to buy it.
I don't want to live. Wasn't it in like Wisconsin or something? I don't want to buy it.
No, I think it's in Queens. Is it? Yeah. Maybe no.
No, it can't be in Queens because
No,
if you got lost
he's
in.
from like the Midwest.
If you got lost in New York, he's like, I'll just go back to Queens.
Yeah, never mind.
Queens is where Coming to America is, my friend.
He had to be, yeah.
Some more modern films. Check out Requiem for a Dream. Requiem for a Dream is a great film. In New York, and also what was it? Black Swan. I'm talking about Darren Aronofsky films. There's a lot of really great modern films. Darren Aronofsky, great New York filmmaker.
I just want to tell our listeners, Cameron is not whatever the accent is, but he's doing a really good job with it.
I don't understand what you mean.
Oh, okay.
He's from the state of Florida.
Wow.
There's a lot of ethnic groups.
Yeah. And thank God Cuba's going off at the terror watch list, but that's on Friday's show. But in our brief time left, we should mention 2 important film festivals. Here at Wagner, you can join us on May 2nd, starting at 6:30, for the first ever Wagner Shorts Film Festival. I myself will be having a documentary in there. called The Labor Movement, The Right to Organize, all about Ronald Reagan and the air traffic controllers fighting. They don't actually fight.
So definitely check out that. There's actually a lot of different films from all over the campus, and I really encourage you to come out. Going to see some films, a lot of different films. So May 2nd, Saturday, 6:30. Definitely recommend you come out.
And now also there's another, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it's gonna be great. But I know there's another film festival coming out that's so it's a little bit bigger, not as quiet. The Tribeca Film
Yes.
Festival. Cameron, you have some information on that?
Oh yes, I do. First off, today is the very first official day of the Tribeca Film Festival. Hooray! So it goes to the 26th, and the Tribeca Film Festival, more than some of the other film festivals, highlight a lot of the independent filmmakers that we don't see recognized at other film festivals like Sundance. Even though Sundance features a lot of independent filmmakers, we see films from filmmakers we would never ever see before, and that's what we really admire about the Tribeca Film Festival. A lot of great films. They all have a lot of hype. You know, I suggest you go onto the website tribecafilmfest.com, check out some of the films, and it's really engaging. You see so many different films. I really encourage you to go online and check it out. I will also be working there, so I might sell your tickets for you. So look out for that, and definitely go see some films.
Now, how much are tickets, by the way? I'm curious to. I think I might want to stop by.
Yeah, I mean, online you have the service fee. It might be around for the weekends. Maybe around like $22.
Not bad if you think about it. Yeah.
It is not bad because you're seeing very premiere films. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger has a film in there as well as James Franco. You know, $22 is a good deal. Of course, but for students, luckily you get the deal with, I believe, $16 discount.
Really?
Wow.
Now that's a steal.
That is.
Yeah.
That's like the steal from Goodfellas, which will be also playing there.
But it's sold out, so you will not get a ticket.
And their tickets where I went online, just check it out one day, $105 for the cheapest seat.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Yeah.
This is really big. This is my first year working at the film festival. I've met people who keep coming back, and they've been coming back for about 20 years, I believe. Yeah, they keep coming back every year.
All right. You know what, guys? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to be a night.
We have to do this again sometime. Nick will be alive next week, so he'll be back then. Actually, he might not. He might still be dead.
Should we leave it off with like rags to riches?
Well, actually, I just want to plug our we have a Facebook page. What was it called? Yeah, Real Talk with Nick and Glenn. Look us on Facebook, please. If you like us, please like us. If you don't like us, still like us. We really appreciate it. That's all I can think of. Please be on the aware. I'm in a documentary, a mockumentary done by a good friend of mine, Mel. We'll put a link to that on our Facebook page as well. Okay, yeah. So as for Real Talk, I'm Glenn.
I'm Riley Bartolomeo.
Groovy!
Okay. And for Real Talk, eat your peas and carrots.
Wait. We should do the rags to riches on the way out since you did New York on.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Ryan.
what is it? Let's go.
Right,
this is your idea.
Your rags to riches. Something.
Okay.
Bennett.
Groovy!
Real Talk, wrap. Bye.
Okay.
You also have to do the after selfie.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
You get a lot of comments.
I know.
I don't think so.
Yeah. What happened?
That was fun.
Thank you for watching.